She checked her boarding pass 3 times, smiled nervously, and sat at gate 18, believing she was about to board the flight that would change her life forever. 40 minutes later, an airport employee gently informed her that her flight had been leaving from gate 28 all along. She had missed it. Fighting back tears, she lowered her head, convinced she had just lost the biggest opportunity of her career. What she didn't know was that missing that flight was about to lead her to the one person she was always meant to meet. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel. Every story shared through our community reminds someone that sometimes life's greatest blessings arrive disguised as disappointments. Clara Bennett had spent years caring for her elderly grandmother while working 2 part-time jobs. When her grandmother peacefully passed away, Clara finally decided to chase the dream she had postponed for almost a decade. She had been offered an interview with a respected publishing company in another city, a chance she believed would finally give her the fresh start she desperately needed. Everything seemed perfect until she sat at the wrong airport gate. By the time she realized the mistake, the airplane was already taxiing away. She sat alone with tears filling her eyes. It wasn't just a missed flight. It felt like years of sacrifice had slipped through her fingers in a single careless moment. Across from her sat a middle-aged man quietly reading a worn novel. He had noticed her trying not to cry but respected her silence. After several minutes he simply offered her a clean handkerchief. His name was Graham Mercer. He wasn't dressed like someone wealthy or important. He wore a simple jacket and carried an old leather travel bag that looked older than Clara herself. Embarrassed, Clara thanked him and apologized for letting her emotions show. Instead of offering empty sympathy, Graham asked what had happened. As she explained everything, he listened without interrupting once. When she finished, he smiled gently. He told her that 25 years earlier he had missed a train because he stopped to help an elderly stranger who had fallen on the station stairs. He believed that missed train had ruined his future. Instead, helping that stranger eventually introduced him to the woman who became his wife. Sometimes, he said, wrong turns quietly become the right roads. His calm confidence somehow eased Clara's disappointment. The airport announced that another flight would leave later that afternoon. Unfortunately, every remaining seat had already been sold. Clara accepted defeat. Then something unexpected happened. Graham quietly walked to the airline counter. A few minutes later he returned with a new boarding pass. He had given Clara his own seat. She refused immediately. She couldn't possibly take it. But Graham insisted. He explained that his meeting could easily be rescheduled. Dreams, however, should never wait if they don't have to. Reluctantly, Clara accepted, promising she would somehow repay his kindness one day. Before boarding, she asked for his phone number. He smiled and shook his head. He simply wished her good luck and walked away toward the airport cafe. Clara never even learned what he did for a living. The interview exceeded every expectation. Instead of one position, the publishing company offered Clara a permanent editorial role with excellent benefits. For the first time in years, hope replaced exhaustion. Yet despite her happiness, she couldn't stop thinking about the stranger whose generosity had made everything possible. Several months later Clara was assigned to edit the autobiography of a retired children's author whose books had inspired millions. When she arrived for the first meeting, her heart nearly stopped. Sitting beside the publisher was Graham. He wasn't just another traveler. He was the celebrated writer himself. For decades he had secretly donated much of his book earnings to literacy programs and children's hospitals, refusing public recognition. Graham immediately recognized Clara and smiled warmly. He admitted he had hoped life would eventually bring them together again. During the months that followed, they worked closely on his manuscript. Clara discovered that Graham carried quiet wisdom into every conversation. He encouraged young writers, remembered every employee's name, and believed success meant very little unless it helped someone else. As they spent more time together, Clara realized the interview she thought had changed her life was actually only the beginning. Graham became the mentor she had never known she needed. His stories helped her become a stronger editor. His kindness reminded her that compassion often creates opportunities impossible to predict. One sunny afternoon, after completing the final chapter of his autobiography, Graham handed Clara a small envelope. Inside was the same handkerchief he had offered her at the airport. Folded beside it was a short handwritten note. It read, "You believed you missed your future at gate 18. The truth is your future was sitting beside you all along." Clara smiled through tears. Months later Graham officially retired. At his farewell celebration, he publicly thanked Clara for helping him tell his life story honestly. But Clara knew the truth. He had rewritten her story first. Inspired by everything she had learned, Clara established a scholarship fund for aspiring writers who couldn't afford publishing courses. She named it the Wrong Gate Fellowship. People often laughed at the unusual name until they heard the story behind it. Soon the scholarship helped dozens of talented young people chase dreams they thought were impossible. Years later, whenever Clara traveled through an airport, she never became frustrated by delays or unexpected changes. Instead, she quietly wondered what beautiful surprise might be hiding inside the inconvenience. Because she had learned that life rarely follows the schedule we carefully create. Sometimes it writes something even better. Before this story ends, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a disappointment that unexpectedly became one of the greatest blessings in your life? Leave a meaningful comment below because your story may inspire someone who feels like they've just missed their own opportunity. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, not every missed flight is a failure, not every closed door is the end, and not every wrong gate leads you away from your destiny. Sometimes the greatest miracle begins the moment your carefully planned path quietly falls apart.